It's the morning of September 7th, so I figured it's another time for an update on the wicking bed. The tomato plants were kind of petering out. The cherry tomatoes were still pumping out tomatoes, and the big tomatoes were kind of, anytime they even started making some tomatoes, something, I'm pretty sure it was a squirrel, was getting the tomatoes and hauling them away and eating them. So, and at one point over the last couple of months, it's been a while since I did an update, it did have one tomato hornworm come through and take out one of the plants, but at the same time it just took off all the leaves and some of the tips of the branches, and that plant bounced back after a few weeks. Here's all the tomato plants that I just ripped out. As you can see, there's still plenty of cherries on here and stuff that my wife, every couple days she'll get like a bowl full of cherry tomatoes off of them, but it's getting the time where they're petering out, so I'm going to go ahead and plant my fall garden. What I did with the soil is, as I mentioned in an earlier video, it's getting acidic in there, mainly because I assume with the peat moss it's down deep. So I went about 8 inches deep and added some garden lime, and then about 4 inches deep in the soil and added this Dr. Earth organic tomato or vegetable food. And then I came back with a 5-gallon bucket of my homemade cold worm compost and added a 5-gallon bucket in each of the beds. That added about an inch or two on top, probably about 2 inches on top of each bed. And now I'm going to come through here and I'm going to plant my fall crop. What I'm going to do in this bed, oh, by the way, when I was digging around in the beds, I discovered that this one had a blue-tailed lizard and about 5,000 roly-polies in it. This one also had 5,000 roly-polies in it, and it had an ant colony in there too, which they're now under some compost. But so the soil has got some creepy crawlies in it. Since there's so many roly-polies, I assume they like the mulch, so I'm not putting that back on for the fall. Once the crop's done, I'm going to come back and throw on a couple inches of leaves. I'll top off the bed with leaves and let that break down, and let the worms eat it, and let the mold eat it, all that stuff. Plus, good leaf compost has like 40-something types of nutrients in it. Anyways, when I'm going to plant this bed, I'm going to plant a row of cilantro down the middle of both of the beds. I'm going to plant some of that butter crunch lettuce you saw in one of my first couple of videos in this bed, 2 rows of that. And in this bed over here, I'm going to plant some kale. That should last all the way through the winter. I don't know how. It'll probably stop growing once it gets cold, but that's fine. It'll take off again in the spring, and I can do another crop of lettuce, or I can yank out the kale if I want to in the spring, if my wife's not eating it, which she may not. And then plant some more lettuce here, staggered. I'll stagger them. And then later on in the greenhouse, I'll plant, in a couple of weeks from now, I'll take out those cucumbers and all those other vines I planted in the beds and put some lettuce in there so I can have some staggered harvest. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'll have another update next month.